Hey there, viewers. We've all had trouble with mental health. Most of us have suffered from depression in some form or another. But what about your friend? Have you ever had to help them with depression? It can completely put your life on hold. Today, we're going to talk about the ways you can help a friend with depression. Should you listen to them more? What about exercising with them once in a while? Where does therapy come from? We're talking about all of this and more. It's often pretty hard to tell if someone's depressed. People are very good at masking their emotions. You've probably done it before, but there are a few personality changes you'll pick up on if you look closely. For one, their outlook on life will be a lot more negative. People with depression often develop a very grim view of the world. If you have a friend who thinks they're depressed, pay attention to their choices of words. Everything's going to crap. Who cares about anything anymore? It's like everything you love, they hate all of a sudden. This level of pessimism ends up only driving people away from them, dragging them deeper into a state of depression. Addressing your friend's depression is tricky. You don't want to come off too confrontational because they might just run. Either that or they'll freak out on you. Just ease into the conversation. Casually ask them, "How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? I've noticed some things that you've been saying. Is there something you want to talk about?" From here, they'll either open up to you or completely dismiss it. If they do in fact decide to talk to you, engage in active listening. Active listening makes a world of difference. It allows you to express your concerns to someone struggling with depression symptoms. If a person with depression wants to talk about their thoughts and feelings, it's important to concentrate, understand, and respond to what they have to say. With active listening, you build trust. Over time, you may be able to help your friend work through their issues. You can ask questions to get more information instead of just assuming you understand everything. If you don't feel like talking when you first ask, it's good to let them know you still care. Just don't be too pushy. Keep asking questions and expressing your concern. Try to have conversations in person whenever possible. If you live in different areas, maybe do a Zoom chat. So, what are some ways you can help your friend? Well, research shows a direct link between exercise and treating depression. Inviting someone to go for a run or work out at the gym may just help them feel better. Sometimes it's good for them to have that adrenaline rush. Other times it's just good for them to spend some time with another person, physical activity or not. Regular exercise helps ease depression by releasing endorphins. These are pain-killing chemicals naturally produced by your body. Meeting exercise goals or challenges, even small ones, can boost your self-confidence. Getting in shape can also make you feel better about your appearance. Exercise and physical activity give you the chance to meet and socialize with others. Just exchanging a friendly greeting as you walk around your neighborhood can help your mood. Socializing in general can help ease depression. According to studies, socialization can be very helpful for someone fighting depression. People with depression have a hard time reaching out to friends and keeping plans. The problem is that canceling plans can contribute to their guilt. If they continue to cancel, they may get fewer and fewer invitations. This only increases their feelings of isolation. If your depressed friend keeps canceling, it's important to continue inviting them. I know it can be annoying, but it's the gesture that counts. This reminds them that they're still in your life, and you want them to be around you. Remember, subtlety is everything when you're dealing with someone with a mental health issue. Try not to put too much pressure on them. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to. You can also help your friend find professional support. Oftentimes, a friend with depression will avoid talking to a therapist. They need someone who can nudge them in the right direction. If your friend seems interested in counseling, offer to help them review potential therapists. You can help them list things to ask candidates, as well as things that they want to mention in their first session. Encouraging them to make the first appointment can be helpful if they're having a hard time. You can provide recommendations for local doctors they can meet. You can also offer to attend the doctor's appointment with your friend so they feel supported during their visit. Remember, they may be unaware they're dealing with depression. If they are, they may still not know how to approach it. This makes opening up to a therapist all that more difficult. You may find it hard to convince your friend to meet someone face-to-face. In this situation, try to be innovative. You could recommend hotlines or online support groups. The Reach Out Next Step tool can also provide support options so they can make their own plans. Getting your friend to go to therapy is one thing. Getting them to stick with it is another. You may need to push your friend to continue the therapy. On a bad day, your friend may not feel like leaving the house. Depression can zap energy and increase people's desire to hide from the world. If they say something like, "I think I'm going to cancel my appointment today," encourage them to stick with it. The same goes for medication, and this is a big one. If your friend wants to stop taking medication because of unpleasant side effects, be supportive, but encourage them to talk with their psychiatrist about switching to a different kind. Either that, or they'll stop taking their medication entirely. Just stopping antidepressants without the supervision of a healthcare professional can have serious consequences. Typically, reaching out to a doctor before stopping medication can prevent people from hurting themselves. One thing that's so important when dealing with a depressed person is patience. Depression usually improves with treatment, but it can be a slow process that involves trial and error. They may have to try a few different types of counseling or meds before they find one that helps their symptoms. Even successful treatment doesn't mean depression goes away entirely. Your friend may continue to have symptoms from time to time. In the meantime, they'll have good days and bad days. Try not to assume that a good day means they're cured. Try not getting frustrated if they're having a string of bad days. There's still hope for them to improve. Depression doesn't have a clear recovery timeline. Just expecting your friend to return to their usual self after a few weeks of therapy won't help either of you. You should never forget to stay in touch with them. Letting them know you still care about them as they work things out is a huge help. Even if you're unable to spend a lot of time with them, check in with a text, phone call, or even a quick visit. Just sending a quick message saying, "I've been thinking of you and I care about you," can make a difference in their lives. People living with depression become more withdrawn and avoid reaching out, so you may find yourself doing more work to maintain the friendship. Continuing to be a positive, supportive person in your friend's life can make all the difference to them, even if they can't express that to you in the moment. Depression, more often than not, takes different forms. You should always be aware that your friend is not an evil person. Never think of them as lunatics who just like to sit around and be miserable all day. After all, it can happen to any of us. While depression usually involves sadness, there are other lesser-known forms. Many people don't realize depression can involve anger and irritability, confusion, difficulties with memory, difficulty focusing, excessive fatigue, or sleep concerns. Physical symptoms such as stomach pains, frequent headaches, or back and muscle pain can also occur. Your friend may often seem a little grumpy or exhausted. Keep in mind that what they're feeling is still part of depression, even if it doesn't fit into the stereotypical version. If you don't know how to help them feel better, just say something like, "I'm sorry you're feeling this way. I'm here to help if there's anything I can do." Caring for a depressed friend can be a task. It can drain you both physically and mentally. This is why our last step is so important. Remember to take care of yourself. We spend so much time taking care of our friends that we often forget to make time for ourselves. This can put us on a downward spiral of depression and other mental health issues. If you're feeling depressed, take some of the advice that we've given you and apply it to your own life. Talk to friends. Go out and enjoy nature. Head to the gym for a workout. There's so much activity you can take part in. You can even take up meditation or yoga. There's sometimes nothing better for your mental state. Now, convincing a friend to go to therapy is difficult in itself. Convincing yourself is a whole other task. Knowing what you want is different from knowing what you need. Because we live with ourselves on a daily basis, we often think we know everything about ourselves. We don't. Sometimes we need professional help and we don't even realize it. If a friend suggests that you go to the doctor, consider their advice and go. Mental health is a serious subject that affects everybody. There's so much to learn about the topic. Trust me, it can save you in more ways than one. Let's keep the conversation going with a couple more related videos, shall we? Here's what you need to know. Check out 5 signs of depression that should never be ignored. You can also watch 5 foods to avoid if you have anxiety. Go ahead, click one, or better yet, watch both and learn more about mental health and how it affects you. Do you have a friend struggling with depression? Are you the one struggling? Let us know in the comments below.